Góðan, daginn, herslingar, and welcome to another tournament recap. I recently took part in a local in-person tournament down here in Southwest Florida at Prime Toys and Comics, a phenomenal little store in Naples, Florida, who hosts monthly tournaments, puts the prizes up all themselves. All tournaments are free. The nicest, friendliest, kindest people there. Wonderful place to have a great tournament. And it is Open Great League, following the same rules that we see at the wonderful regional qualifiers in the Worlds. So some nice fun. Going into this tournament, I wanted to play safe because the prize was, the first place prize was a mint 1996 Japanese Pikachu card that's professionally graded and sealed. And I was like, oh, I want that. It's super cool. So I wanted to play relatively safe, but I also wanted to bring a little bit of extra spice into the mix here. So what I did was I went with the standard core of Medicham, Altaria, Stunfisk, all good, all strong, work anywhere. And then I went with double safe swap in my Azumarill and my return Sableye, both of which are very good with energy leads, both of which have plenty of bulk and good typing. And then just in case people were taking a hint from Orlando Regionals and were running double waters, I brought Jumpluff because I have a Jumpluff that hits a damage breakpoint on Fairy Wind, so it can also beat the dragons if they show up. And it also handles Umbreon very well with its Fairy Wind breakpoint. So it's just a very good, safe Pokemon when water types are likely to show up. And I don't like Trevenant, and I didn't want to run double Ghost with Sableye there. So this was my plan going into it. Because I'm a little soft or weak to steals, I'm running Power Up Punch, Ice Punch on my Medicham, so that if I bring it in to deal with Stunfisk's Registeals, whatever the case may be, he will beat them faster without needing to shield, and will threaten more coming out of the match against any flyers that come in to deal with them. I never bait with Medicham regardless, but I've rarely found a place where I've really wanted Psychic other than in the mirror, which of course is a risk, but I wasn't as worried about Medicham mirrors because I have Azumarill, Sableye, and Altaria, and Jumpluff, all of whom can pretty safely beat Medicham to varying degrees. So that was my plan going into the game. Showed up, had some great battlers there, some wonderful fun. So I'm just going to highlight 3 matches we have here. My first match is against Setzenbull, a new player. He's only been playing PvP for about 4 months, but he's been very enthusiastic, showing up for all the tournaments, and building his team more and more. And so the thing with new battlers is, 1, you never know what they're going to bring and what their movesets are going to be, so you have to be really careful here. And 2, you're not sure what their lines are going to be because they don't think in the traditional way, so you got to play it safe. But nonetheless, we have some great battles, so I'll just jump into this right now. He is bringing a Pidgeot, Alolan Ninetales, Solrock, Scrafty, Metagross, and Hitmonchan. So looking at this, I'm a little worried about Sableye because of the Scrafty there, but it works really well. I think he's going to lead not Scrafty, but Altaria is a safe lead, so I bring it in. He's running Charm Ninetales, which really messes with my Sableye plan here. I was expecting Powder Snow, so I swap into the Azumarill because I know it handles it the best. I bait to try and get a shield out. I do, and then I'm going to make a critical mistake here. All those charms through, I assume he's got to be going for the nuke. He is not. He is baiting me, so I shield, fine. I throw a Play Rough, I'm like, alright, I'm down a shield, no big deal. He double shields, I'm like, okay, now that he's shields down, he's going to throw a nuke when he throws here. So I want to keep my Azumarill up because it's got so much energy. I do it, and then he swaps into Metagross, catches my Play Rough, because I was getting over-aggressive, and so now I've got a good answer to Metagross here, except I don't kill it fast enough. I think I can farm it down before he gets to Meteor Mash. I cannot. He blows up my Sableye, and now I'm in danger because he's got I have no shields. He has an Alolan Ninetales with Charm, no energy on my Azumarill, and only an Altaria left. So even once I blow up this Scrafty, which is easy enough, I need to make sure he doesn't throw a foul play because I need to have energy to make it through the charms, or health to make it through the charms, but he's got the Weather Ball stored because he never threw an expensive move. Blows up my Altaria, knocks me out game 1. So I need to reassess my game plan here for what I'm going to do. I'm still liking Azumarill. It's still very safe against everything. But now that I know it's Charm Ninetales, I need to bring in my Stunfisk, because I know that's the best answer I've got to Ninetales. I still lead Altaria because it just feels safe and I can always swap it out. I bring Sableye instead of Azumarill because I assume he's going to course correct for that one. He brings in Solrock, which is not a threat at all to Stunfisk. It's only got Psychic and Rock moves, and it's using Rock Throw. So I'm going to get a ton of farm on here, and then just throw a Rock Slide to get it low enough to farm down. Because I want to leave with a lot of energy, no matter what's coming up. So I know I don't need to shield this. I'm still going to live with enough health that whatever comes in, I'll be fine. He brings back in Scrafty, so I throw the Earthquake to force the shield, and to buy myself some switch time. Switch timer's back up. I block the Power Punch because I need to save him because I assume Ninetales is in the back. This is the real risk I've got here. So I drop down, I have one shield, but I have Altaria who's going to be able to farm a lot of energy. So the Ninetales comes in, I throw it the wing attack, and then I go into Sableye. I know it's not going to win long run, but with no shields, the foul play should be enough to deal with this, and then Scrafty versus Altaria's easy path to victory for me. So he power up punches here, which means the foul play, I've got a shield on Altaria, but I have enough for it. So now I just need to essentially get to my Sky Attack since he shields down. And even if this is a power up punch, he's not going to get to a foul play in time, and I would probably still live it just in case. So we're 1-1 now going into game 3. I know Stunfisk is a great answer. There's very little answer to this line other than Scrafty, because I don't think he's going to go double fighter. So I'm going to lean hard on my Stunfisk. I'm going to realize that Sableye is probably not the best safe swap, so I make it a lead, assuming he will go with something else to change it up. He does change it up, but he brings in the worst possible option. I don't want to lose swap here, though, because I need to get my good answer aligned to it. So I take a shield, and then I bring in the Stunfisk. I know at this stage I'm fine. He didn't mean to swap in his Pidgeot here. He was like, oh no, he clicked the wrong one. So now it's Pidgeot versus Stunfisk, but I know that Stunfisk is my best answer to Alolan Ninetales. And Azumarill is going to beat Air Slash Pidgeot, which is what we've got here, no problem. So I just swap him in because I know Azumarill's got the health to handle it and not worry about it, and then that should clear the line for me to sweep because of all the energy I have on Stunfisk, even if he happens to have Scrafty in the back. So I let the first two go because I assumed he was going to bait. Here I assumed it was a Brave Bird. It's an Aerial Ace, which I still would have needed to block anyways. I go with a farm down on my Stunfisk once I get him low enough so that once Ninetales comes in, I can eat a Weather Ball, no big deal. Full energy, throw a Rock Slide, and then see what we have left. It's a Metagross, and I'm already at Earthquake, so this match is over at this stage of the game. Knock it out, 2-1, looking good to start with. Next matchup we have is against a wonderful battler who came down from Fort Myers, Aquarican, who loves running Shadow Pokemon, and as you can see, brought all of them to roost. So looking at his team here, we've got a Shadow Ninetales, Shadow Hypno, Shadow Marowak. I believe that's also Shadow Drapion, I just didn't mark it, as well as Medicham and Azumarill. So I know that he's probably not going to lead Drapion, Ninetales, or Azumarill because they're so good as swaps or in the back. So I'm guessing on a Hypno lead, a lot of people like it. So I'm going to play it safe and go with my Altaria lead. Azumarill in the back looks really good as long as it can avoid Drapion. And then I want to have some safety there. But he's got a lot of stuff that's really weak to Sableye. So I'm going to bring Sableye in because he just always feels safe. So I lead Altaria, he leads Hypno. This is a great matchup. Hypno takes 4 confusions and 3 confusions to get to its Ice Punch or Thunder Punch. I'm not terribly worried about this. I'm going to shield the first one in case it's Ice Punch. I don't know what its moveset is yet. Seeing that it's a Thunder Punch, I know I can take another one. So I'm going to overcharge my energy here to wait for him to get to when he can throw, and then throw. He spins a shield. I know I can eat a punch, and I know I'm in a Sky Attack now. So I just eat it, charge back up, and then my goal is to wipe him out here and maintain switch advantage, or with shield advantage also take it. So I swap into Sableye at this stage. He brings in Alolan Ninetales. It's Charm Alolan Ninetales, which is rough on the Shadow, but I got enough energy on the Hypno that I can throw out a return, which he doesn't shield. He says he forgot that he was running the Shadow variant because the regular survives 1 return. Blows it up, Hypno comes in, we farm it down, and now we've got a Medicham, which is not where I want to be, because I've got a Stunfisk in the back with no shields. But his energy is low enough, I'm going to try and get some farm, some chip in with Altaria, and then I just need to survive the double Psychic. But then it turns out that he's running Dynamic Punch, and that's terrifying. So he throws the Dynamic Punch, I live it, he throws an Ice Punch here, and I barely live, getting me to the rock side, and I need to see if it's going to knock him out. I just barely squeaked the win in there. So second game, I'm like, oh, I'm going to play spicy, I'm going to lead Jumpluff, right? Jumpluff looks great against Shadow Hypno if he runs that again. Great against Medicham, since Medicham doesn't have... Dynamic Punch Medicham means he doesn't have super KO power, and Ice Punch, while super effective, isn't stab. But he leads Alolan Marowak, which is the worst possible place for my Jumpluff to be. So I generate some energy, and then I'm going to safe swap after I throw. He's got to shield the acrobatics. He doesn't, but look how low his Alolan Marowak is. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're fine. I catch on the Sableye. I thought I could get to the turn there, but the Bone Club was enough to make me not in the range. So I'm worried about this. Sableye's down. I've got to try and basically win with 2 Pokemon weak to Alolan Marowak. And he knows this, so that's where he's going to dedicate his shields. So Medicham comes in, gets a nice farm. Even if I land the Earthquake here, it doesn't matter. Medicham just needs to get rid of him because then Jumpluff has a super easy time against Alolan Marowak. I'm going to eat the Ice Punch. Oh, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to shield because I think I need to get enough energy for this Alolan Marowak. It's low. At this point, since his Shadow variant, an Energy Ball will be enough, but he's going to get plenty of energy here, and the fire damage is adding up, so I've got to be super careful. He's out of shields. I throw, I knock it out, but then he's got a relatively healthy Medicham against 2 very not healthy Pokemon. If I made the acrobatics there, I would have won, but I couldn't risk it on the Alolan Marowak, and here he gets the farm down. So great match, great adjustment from him. We're 1-1 now going into it. And I say, all right, I've safe swapped Sableye twice now. He's not going to expect it in the lead, so I'm just going to lead Sableye. It doesn't have any terrible matchups, so we'll just throw him out there and see how he does. That's our plan. So we lead Sableye, he leads Shadow Hypno. We're golden. This is where we want to be. We let him get 4 confusions in so that I can maximize energy without needing to shield. Throw the foul play. He doesn't shield it because he knows Hypno's dead weight now. He brings in a Azumarill, which wins this matchup, but I've got an energy lead, so I can get to return and then get out if I need to. But Sableye did its job. It absolutely blew up the Hypno, so I don't need to over-invest in him now. Since I took the shield, I decided to stay in and get some more chip, force him to throw his energy here by getting up to the return, so that we have a low-energy Azumarill here. I live the Ice Beam because he doesn't go for the Play Rough. Throw another return, and now we have an almost dead Azumarill with me. And I assume he's got Medicham in the back. So I bring Stunfisk out even though it's not the best matchup because I don't want to get locked against the Medicham, which he then brings out, and I bring in Azumarill. And at this stage, the match is over. There is nothing a Dynamic Punch Medicham can do to win this matchup. He's got no chance with Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch against Azumarill. So I just get the double. I don't need to shield anything. Save it just in case I miscounted my energy on his near-dead Azumarill. Throw the Play Rough. Knock out the Medicham here. And then farm down. I shield here just to be safe, just in case. But we're very healthy. We soundly win that matchup, taking his 2-1, and we're going into the final round now. We're looking good. We're feeling strong. We like our team. Azumarill and Sableye have really been putting in a ton of work. Altaria always works really well for me, and my Stunfisk is, of course, really great. I have not been leaning on Medicham, maybe because everyone expects Medicham. He's just always felt a little riskier than the options I had. And Jumpluff, sadly, no one's been running much in the way of waters, so Jumpluff hasn't had a spot to really come in. So we're going to go up against our final opponent here, Monochi, who's another great battler, bringing in some really good, solid, strong lines. So he's bringing Charizard, Umbreon, Swampert, Noctowl, Stunfisk, Medicham. Alright, very meta, and I mean that in a good way, very positive matchups. I look at this, I know it's not a Shadow Charizard, but Charizard can be a real thorn with an energy lead. Noctowl is just always safe. Umbreon's bulk is great. I'm in a better spot with Umbreon because I've got Power Up Punch on my Medicham, so I know that against Umbreon and against Stunfisk, I'm in a better position. Jumpluff also handles Swampert and Umbreon, and to a lesser degree, but still successful Medicham. So I'm kind of thinking about it. Sableye's looking good, but then I see Azumarill and I'm like, oh, Azumarill looks great against everything here that's not Swampert. If Swampert's running Sludge Wave. If it's running Earthquake, it can still win, but if it's running Sludge Wave, it can just run circles around me. So I'm like, okay, I need to keep my Azumarill in the back until I deal with Swampert. My best plan is just to lead Altaria. It always feels safe. It never dies quickly. He doesn't have a Charmer on his team, so Altaria is never going to be in super danger if I manage it. Azumarill looks great in the back, and then Medicham also has some great matchups here, because even in its bad matchups, it's not awful. So that's my plan going into this. So I lead Altaria, he leads Swampert, I'm feeling great. Altaria versus Swampert is a hard wall, I don't need to shield anything. Even if he's running Sludge Wave, it's not going to do enough for me to be worried. So he's throwing Hydro Cannons, that's fine. I'm going to overcharge, get to where he will throw his second Hydro Cannon, and then Sky Attack, let it through because it's not even going to take me to 50%, and farm down. So now I've got energy and see what he brings in. He brings in Noctowl, and I'm like, okay, I know I do enough damage against Noctowl with Altaria, and I've got hard answers in the back, so there's no reason for me to lose switch here. So I'm just going to let my Altaria go. Oh, I'm not. He's spin a shield, so I decide the chip damage is good enough. I'm going to leave Altaria in. I just like Altaria's damage. I know that it's doing well here. I get both shields off of this. Now I let Altaria drop, because with a shield advantage, I'm good. I bring in Azumarill, and there's just nothing this Noctowl can do. It's going to take a lot of Shadow Balls, and then I discover he's running Psychic, which if he gets the defense drop could cause a problem, but not a huge problem. So he swaps in the Medicham because it's his other answer. I don't mind this because, again, Azumarill is super good into Medicham. He's only shown Ice Punch so far because I was counting. I knew he didn't hit a Psychic. Throw Play Rough because he's out of shields, and now it's just Azumarill versus Noctowl, and I have a shield. So I block this no matter what it is, and I get to Ice Beam first. Easy win for Game 1. And I'm feeling confident. I'm liking my line. I don't think I need to make much in the way of changes. I'm going to keep leading Altaria until it stops working because it just feels safe. It's my most comfortable lead. Azumarill in the back is just always good. And then, so I keep the exact same line because it worked last time. I get Altaria into Noctowl, which again is a good matchup for me, especially since he doesn't have Shadow Ball. If he gets a Psychic debuff, then I'll consider it. But I know he's just going to go Sky Attack because it's better damage. So I don't shield the first one because I know I got plenty of HP. He shields first, so now I decide to maintain shields because in a 1-1 shield, Altaria wins this one. I overcharge my energy until he gets to where he can throw a move, throw my Sky Attack. He caught it on his Stunfisk, but I'm not worried about this because I have Medicham to counter swap and I have Power Up Punch, so I don't need to burn a shield at all. I will eat the Earthquake, no problem, and I will leave with a fully power-up punched Ice Punch coming out of this, which is exactly where I want to be. So he brings in Noctowl. I go to throw the Ice Punch. He has the Sky Attack ready, whatever. I'm not worried about it because Medicham did its job. It beat the Galarian Stunfisk. He brings in Swampert, so I throw my Play Rough here to either force the shield or get it down, and then Altaria comes in, and we're good to go. So I know I can eat a Hydro Cannon here, and I can throw my Sky Attack, and then Swampert with no shields is either dead or in farm range. At this stage of the game, it's Noctowl versus one shield Azumarill without Shadow Ball and no energy. It's over. I have successfully navigated my way to the win. And now we're already thinking on Game 3. We don't need the win Game 3, but we want to send a message. We want to have a good time. So Azumarill, he just doesn't have a good answer for it. He doesn't have a lot that can safely answer Azumarill, especially without Shadow Ball and Noctowl, which is what lets it flip that IV dependent. So I lead Medicham this time, thinking I'll be spicy. and he bleeds Charizard. Worst possible matchup for me. So I safe swap into Sableye because I need to save my Azumarill because I know it's my win con. Get a shield on Charizard. He gets a bunch of energy on it, though, which is scary. Noctowl comes in, so I throw the return. It hits hard, and then I know as soon as he throws Sky Attack, I'm in trouble. I'm not going to get to another return, I don't think, so I just let him go. Now I bring in Azumarill, who I know can handle Noctowl super well, and will force him to bring something in. I assume he's not going to bring the Charizard in, so my goal here is to win with some energy. So he brings in Charizard, and I'm like, all right, he's got a Blast Burn. He baits me. I spin the shield. That was a mistake. Now Swampert comes in, and I don't have a double shield advantage. I don't have a great Swampert answer left. I didn't bring a great Swampert answer. Hydro Cannons are just very fast, very dangerous. Medicham without Psychic is going to struggle. Ice Punch is neutral and not stab, and Power Up Punch isn't particularly helpful. I don't think he's going to shield it, which is why I don't Power Up Punch. I have no shields left. He's almost dead, so my only hope here is that there isn't a lot of energy on Charizard, and I have to get to 2 Ice Beams before he gets to 2 Blast Burns or a Blast Burn and a Dragon Claw. So I'm at next to nothing. I get up to 1 away, throw the Ice Beam, take the shield. I need to get a bubble and get another Ice Beam. I get the bubble through, because we don't do it at the same time, but it's Dragon Claw. I think it's over, and I live. With invisible HP left, literal 1 HP, Azumarill lives to throw the finishing Ice Beam, win the tournament, and there is the beautiful card that I won at the end of this fantastic tournament. So thank you again to all the battlers who came out. Thank you again to Prime Comics for putting up these tournaments every month. And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Until I see you all next time, thanks so much for watching.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. You liked this video, right? We had a good time. Make sure you click that like button and that subscribe. It lets us know what content you're appreciating. So it helps us keep creating the quality you're looking for. Thanks so much.